Alright, we're going to look at latitude and longitude. So, parallels of latitude range from 0 degrees at the equator, here's your equator, to 90 degrees north, or 0 to 90 degrees south. So, where do we get this degrees from, right? How do we find this? Let's give you a quick overview. So, if you picture the Earth here, here's the equator. Let's say you have a line going through the center of the Earth at the equator. So, and then if you move up, let's say to 20 degrees north latitude. So where the cursor is 20 degrees north latitude. If you would run a line back to the equator like this, imaginary line, this angle would be measured at 20 degrees. So here you have 90 degrees, right, north. So you picture your line going through the center of the Earth, come up, connect it to 90 degrees, and then this angle would be 90 degrees. So 90 degrees north. So that's where we're getting the degrees from, or how we calculate degrees. But having a full understanding of that concept is not necessary for understanding the graticule that we're going to talk about. So parallels of latitude, 0 to 90 degrees north, 0 to 90 degrees south. Meridians of longitude, or lines of longitude, are numbered from 0 to 180 degrees west, or 0 to 180 degrees east. So we put it together on the globe. We got our lines of latitude, our lines of longitude. They meet right to form these right angles, and we get our geographic grid pattern, or our graticule. So let's practice and see how we can use this graticule, or this grid pattern, to help us determine locations on the surface of the Earth. So here is our equator, 0 degrees latitude, right? Here's our prime meridian, 0 degrees longitude. So let's start by finding latitude. So we go to our equator, we got our point here, it's 10 degrees, 20 degrees. So we would say this location is 20 degrees north because it is above the equator. Anything above the equator is going to be north. Anything below the equator is going to be south. So anywhere along this line is 20 degrees north latitude. So this one, 0, 10 degrees, 20 degrees. It's below the equator, right? So it would be 20 degrees south. We have to have those directional indicators when we use latitude or longitude. So anywhere along this line would be 20 degrees south latitude. So we have to have the directional indicator. So we would write our latitude as 20 degrees north or 20 degrees south. Longitude are always written with the directional indicator of east and west, east or west. So you could have 35 degrees east, you could have 35 degrees west, but we have to have those directional indicators. So to show location coordinates, it's common practice to write latitude first, followed by longitude. So the way we would say this location would be 20 degrees north, 35 degrees west. So here is our grid system, right? And we're going to graph these points and come up with some locations. So here's an example. We're above the equator, right? So we're going to be north. We're to the left of the prime meridian, which means that we're going to be west. It's going to be a directional indicator for our longitude. So let's do latitude first. Equator, 0 degrees, 10 degrees, 20 degrees north. That's our latitude. Now let's find our longitude. Got 0, 10, 20, 30, 35. We're west of the prime meridian, So our location for this point would be 20 degrees north, 35 degrees west. So let's practice. Take a second. I want you to pause the video, get your scrap sheet of paper, and you're going to need a scrap sheet of paper to jot down some notes on. So go ahead and get you a scrap sheet of paper, and then see if you can find the location for these points. Pause the video, A, B, and C. Then we'll go over a couple of them to make sure we're getting the right answers. So hit pause and answer the question. All right, so let's do A together. We're going to find our latitude first. 0 degrees, right? 10 degrees, 20 degrees, and watch our direction, 20 degrees north. And then let's look at our longitude. Start at the prime meridian, 0, 10, 20, 30 degrees, and our directional indicator would be east. So 20 degrees north, 30 degrees east. We'll do B together as well. Latitude first. 0, right? 10, 20, 25 degrees. Directional indicator would be north, right? We're above the equator. 25 degrees north. Our longitude would be 0 at the prime meridian, right? 10 degrees west. Hopefully you got those correct. Now, when we're using whole degrees, which is what we're going to use on the worksheet that we're going to do together here in a few minutes, whole degrees are not very accurate. So a degree of latitude, they're about 110 kilometers apart. So degrees of latitude, about 110 kilometers apart. So we're more familiar with miles, right? So let's say a degree of latitude is roughly 68 miles apart. So if you were at 20 degrees north, you went to 21 degrees north, you would have moved about 68 miles. Now, remember, these are angles, right? That's why we're measuring the degree of the angles, like I described there in the first slide. So, and when you think about latitude, you picture a globe. So, get a picture of a globe in your mind. You're at the equator, which is the center of the globe, right? So you go to the top of the globe. You're at 90 degrees north. Then if you start walking off the back side of the globe, your latitude is going to start decreasing. It's going to decrease until you get back to the equator, right? Back to 0 degrees. So you had 0 to 90 north to get to the top, 90 north going down to get back to the equator. Then you're at the equator. If you go to the bottom of the globe, right? You got this globe, 0 to 90 degrees south. Then you're completing the circle. You're at the bottom of the globe. You start walking towards the equator. You're going to go from 90 degrees back down to 0. So you got 90, 90, 90, and 90, which is 360, right? 360 degrees in a circle. Remember, longitude, 0 to 180 degrees, right? 180 degrees back to 0, 360. So we got a 360 degrees. So we're going to divide these into different units or smaller units so we can be more precise. So each degree is going to be divided into 60 minutes, and each minute is going to be divided into 60 seconds. So we got degrees, minutes, and seconds whenever we're calculating latitude and longitude. Now write these down. Based on the last slide, or a couple slides ago, we know that 1 degree of latitude is about 68 miles. Okay? 1 minute is going to be about 1.14 miles, and 1 second is going to be about 100 feet. So let's look at a precise location for, say, Morehead, Kentucky. The latitude for Morehead, Kentucky is 38 degrees, 11 minutes, and 0 seconds north. That's the latitude for the center of Morehead. Now look back at your notes. We know that 1 second is equal to 100 feet, roughly, right? So if we're at 38 degrees, 11 minutes, and 0 seconds north latitude, and we walk north 100 feet, so we get our compass out and we head north and we walk north 100 feet, what's our new location going to be? It's going to be 38 degrees, 11 minutes, and 1 second north. If we walk north 100 more feet, it's going to be 38 degrees, 11 minutes, 2 seconds north. And if we continue walking north, right, 100 feet, 100 feet, 100 feet, our latitude is going to change. And eventually we're going to get to 38 degrees, 11 minutes, and 59 seconds north. When we've walked 5,900 feet, we get to 38 degrees, 11 minutes, and 59 seconds north. If we stop, we get that readout on our GPS, and then we walk 100 more feet, what's our new location? 38 degrees, 12 minutes, and 0 seconds north. Because just like a clock, when we get to 59, we roll over to the next minute, right? 59 seconds, you hit 60 seconds is 1 minute. So hopefully that helps you understand what we got going on there. We can increase our accuracy even more by using decimal seconds. So you could say 36 degrees, 45 minutes, and 56.05 seconds. Since 1 second of latitude is about 100 feet, if you go out 2 decimal spots, you're in the hundreds, right? You're accurate to about 1 foot location. So you bring your accuracy down to about a foot by expanding your seconds out. All right, let's stop there, and we'll stop this recording. Get your worksheet out, work through your worksheet, see if you can figure out some of the answers, and I'll post another short video going over the worksheet.